It is now time to get this bug completed. So I had some different thoughts about how to create the flowers um, to go with the bug. The first thought was that I cut out some of the motifs that were in the fabric that go with the bug, do a little thread painting on them, and put them around. But I have to be honest, these were quite dark. The bug is already quite dark. It's going on blue jean. So I felt like I might use maybe a butterfly or something, but it won't have a lot of thread painting. So I decided to nix that project. The next thing I thought was I would just draw a motif and just do the thread painting right on it. But I just didn't like the way this felt. It was kind of drawing up because it's a lot of thread. It had some bulky pieces in it. And I just didn't feel like I was going to get the feel or the dimension I wanted. And really, this flower, I would like to have some maybe a little bigger. So I said, nope. So I had to reassess and rethink what I was going to do. So I took a couple of days. And then I went to Springfield the other day and went by one of the fabric shops there. And I found this fabric. It has the vibe that I was looking for, but the colors are not necessarily correct. Well, I'll be cutting the flowers out, so it won't be that we will have all the hot pink behind it. And that's really part of the problem with this fabric is the vibe is very hot pink and this is not. So I took this fabric and I fused a piece of fusible web to the back of it. This is Heat and Bond Light. And then I fused some of this onto some of that 100 weight stabilizer. Okay. Once I did that, I took it to my sewing machine. And I just made a couple. I did this one. He's kind of poking up because when you cut him out, but when on the jacket, he'll lay down. And then this was on the edge, but I really like that flower, so I'm just going to tuck him maybe under there. Then I have these couple of little flowers here. I thought they might be cute, maybe like fallen or something, I don't know. This one I did no thread painting on, but I thought he was cute too. And I really like the way that feels. It's got the lighter colors, the whites and all, but by adding the teals and the light colors from the fabric on here, it really brought it in and placed it with this particular VW bug. So I'm going to take it down and we're going to go to the sewing machine and I'm going to do some thread painting there and show you how and what I did. It's nothing really. It's just going right along the edges. That's it. And then we're going to do a couple more. We'll cut them out. We'll get the blue jean jacket here. We'll get it all laid out the way I like it. We'll go back to the sewing machine, sew that down, and we'll be done. So let's go over to the sewing machine now. So the sewing machine is set up exactly how I had it for the Doodlebug thread painting. We have these yellow ones here. And I'd like to use one of the yellow ones, although I feel that the yellow is just a little much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some of this light colored aqua on this yellow one, and then I'll add some, I don't know, we'll see. Let's put the light color out there first, and then we'll see what we're going to do after that. So I'm going to just get started, and then I'm going to speed it up because this is just the same exact movement we've been doing through the whole process. You see how different this one looks from this one just by adding the aqua around the edges? So the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to add a little aqua around this center part here. Okay. So I didn't exactly want that much aqua there. I wanted some of the pink to show, but my needle slipped and it jumped over, so I just went with it. Okay, so the only other thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to add a little color on top of this orange to tone that orange down, and then we'll be through with this one. Okay, so as you can see here, there is a big difference in the way this one looks and the way this one looks. Once we cut it out of the pink, it's even going to be bigger. Just want to kind of give the rough cut there. Now guys, I know I'm going to hit the edges. Let's see if you can see this. Of the thread, it doesn't bother me. Okay, so see, just by taking, oh, let me get this little bit here. Let's move that out the way. So here's the one that hasn't been thread painted. Here's the one that has. So now when we add it here, you see it blends in better. It goes better with the card. Okay guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and finish some more flowers. And then when I get through, I'm going to grab the jacket and we'll come back and we'll place them on the jacket, glue them down, and come over to the sewing machine and just tack them in place. And we'll be done. Okay, so as you can see, I got the jacket all laid out here, and I'm happy with this. Now, you may want more flowers, you may want less flowers, you may want no flowers. You may be doing something totally different than a doodlebug. But I just wanted to show you. So in taking those flowers that were on this bright pink background and doing some thread painting in the matching threads of the bug, and then cutting that hot pink out, it totally changed the tone of the flowers. So that's something to consider when you're considering fabrics. If you have the right style, but you don't have the right color, adjust it. Now I did leave this one a little orange. I thought it needed that pop of orange, and there is some orange in the car. Mostly I went with the white because the jean jacket is dark. So what I did was I took this Elmer's washable glue stick, like I use it for everything, and I just glued everything down in place. I didn't iron it in place. I didn't put any heat on it. I just glued it in place, okay? Now, so it would come off if, you know, if you threw it in the washing machine, it'd come off right now. So the next thing we have to do, quite simply, is take it to the sewing machine and just run around all the edges of everything and tack it down. Now, you can do this two ways. You can use the color that is coordinating with that area of the applique. Y'all hear that noise? That is the wind here today. It is out there. So finally warmed up to getting the 50s today, and then the wind is blowing 20 miles an hour, so it's still cold. I don't know. So anyway, you can use a matching thread, a coordinating thread, or if you want to make it simple, and I'm going to try this. I haven't used polymer thread, an invisible thread, a clear thread, whatever you want to call it, in a very long time. I would say probably 20 years, because back then the threads were brittle and breaking and all. But I did a little study on YouTube and listened to some people, like the people at Missouri Quilt Star and a few other places that I trust what they say, and they recommended a specific polymer thread, and I think it's Superior, and I ordered it. Now I ordered it from Amazon because, well, it was less expensive, so that's where I ordered it from. I'm going to use that on the top, and that way if it works well, I don't have to worry about matching threads when I go to applique. I haven't done that, like I said, in a long time. I usually change threads, but I'm going to give this an opportunity to work, because if it does, it will save a lot of time for me and possibly for you too. Okay, guys, so I'm going to get everything set up back over at the sewing machine, and then we are going to sew this in place, and this will be done. And I know this has been a really long video, but the next time it won't, because I won't be doing part 1 anymore. I'll just be referencing part 1 of the thread painted pumpkin and part 1 of the thread painted VW bug, unless it's something new that I've learned, a simpler technique or faster or something like that. I won't be going through all that anymore. I looked it up. This is Superior Monopoly Polyester 100% color matte white, 10,000 yards, and I got it from Amazon back in October. It's $23 and some change. The price hasn't changed. I think it's like $23.38 or $48, something like that. So, because it didn't say inside it's Superior, but it is Superior. Okay. I did put my jean jacket under here, but I'm thinking maybe I'll push it away. I'm sorry, this camera's going to be a little further away because the jean jacket is a little thick. So let's slide this out of the way for a second. And let's just see what happens when we put some thread under it. So I'm going to make it kind of thick, because obviously the jean jacket and all that is kind of thick. So I'm going to make this kind of thick and see what happens. All right. We're just going to try to go straight. I should put that on there we go. Let's put the colored side up. I think on this one I should hold it to get started. Now, I did change my stitch length to a little shorter stitch length, because I'm going to be more like sewing, even though I have the darning foot on. Let's see what we got here. Back looks good. Front looks good. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers. So I don't think much of the jacket's going to be thicker than that. I'm just going to take my time. If it skips a stitch on your jacket or whatever you put it on, don't worry about that. You're going to have plenty of stitches on there. You can always back up. It's clear thread, right? All right, so I think what we'll do is we'll start with the beetle bug and put it down first, because it's the biggest element. And we're just doing the edge. We're not doing the whole thing. And I'm using a straight stitch. I'm not using a zigzag. I don't want anything to compete with everything else I've done. And right here, I'm starting with one of the thickest parts. Okay, I'm gonna get my hand out of your way, I'm sorry. Now they do make a smoke thread. It's a little darker and it probably would be better on the tires, but don't have it. Not spending another $23 on that. You see, I jumped right off, but you can't see it because it's clear. I think my gloves might come in handy here. I think this will help me get a little better grip. Like I don't know if you've seen in a previous video, I bought a whole bunch of these. I think it was a dozen pair for like $10 on Amazon. And I just took all the extras and I sealed them in a Seal-A-Meal kind of bag and put them up. And as these get dirty and wore out, I'll just trade off. I may never have to buy these gloves again. Now, so here's the thing. You can kind of see that thread. I'm not going to really worry about it. You see, yeah, I got it on there. Keep the jacket out from underneath it. Keep it flat. And if you end up with some edges you don't like here, I'm really not close enough on that one. I'll probably come back and run along that again. It's art. So, like I said, don't put this on a jacket that you intend to wear every single day, because you're not going to be able to constantly wash this. I haven't washed it, but I tell y'all what, I will do laundry shortly, and I will try to remember to include this in the wash. Also, you want to make sure that you keep your applique flat. That's why I glued it with the glue stick. But if for some reason it's not flat, make sure you flatten it out. You don't want it to have a bubble in the middle. If you don't have a glue stick and you just want to use pins, make sure you pin it from the inside out like you would do a quilt top. Now here I have to go out and around this mirror too. Then I'm going to go back up because that was a separate kind of area. Guys, that was simple. So I'm happy with everything except for the edge of this tire here. Okay, I'm much happier with that. I think everything else is sewn down nice. Okay, so since I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and catch this little flower here that's hidden underneath. And then I'll probably come here and then do some of the outer flowers. And maybe probably do that one last. That one's going to be the most complicated to me. So I'll do that one last after I've got a little more practice on everything else. So guys, I'm just going to sew here quietly. And y'all can just watch it happen. It's not going to probably take, I don't even, let me look at the clock. So it's 10 in the morning. I've probably been at this, I don't know, 5 minutes or so. Okay, guys, so 25, 25 to 30 minutes to sew all those pieces down. I don't think that was really bad. Let's see, on the other side, you can see it's not the prettiest thing back here. I'll probably go through and trim some of the threads if they need it. So what I'm gonna do is, since this is a finished product and all, I'm gonna go ahead and run this in a delicate cycle, a soft spin, and then throw it in the dryer. And then when I get through with that, we will look at how it looks then. But I'm gonna go ahead and show you how it looks now before washing, because to be honest, I wouldn't normally ever wash this, okay? All right, guys, this is a couple hours later. I just took it out of the dryer. I'm actually very well pleased. This is not ironed. Okay, I just took it out and I hung it up. So there are a couple places like over here where I lost some of my thread. And maybe a little bit right here. But overall, it washed up phenomenally. I am actually very relieved. So once I press it, it's gonna be great. I may go back and add those missing threads there, but I'm not really concerned about it because the clear thread is holding it on to the jacket. I think it turned out great. So that shows you it can be washed. Now, I wouldn't wash this every day or once a week. This is something, you know, once or twice a year, something like that. But overall, I think it turned out phenomenal. So guys, I really hope y'all enjoyed doing this project with me. I know it was kind of long, 3 parts is kind of long. But I hope it was worth it. And I hope it inspires you to get out there and do something that you might have been scared of doing. I mean, now I'm the back of my jackets, I'll decorate it, and it gives me something unique that nobody else has in town. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below. Please like, share, subscribe, go to my Facebook, and please, if you do anything similar or not similar, but just along the lines of thread painting, post it on my Facebook page. It's Be Yourself Quilting. Like I said, there won't be a pattern with this one, but if you have any questions or something, just ask me. I'll be so happy to help you along. All right, guys, so I'll remember to always be yourself, and I look forward to seeing y'all next week.